and live streaming.
Good evening. Hi, John. I think we can't hear you. I don't know if you could hear us.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Hey,
Yes.
David.
Hi.
How you
Hi.
doing?
Good. Good.
Hey, Kelly. Hey, Lisa.
Buddy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
All right.
Hello.
Good. I think we have our minute version, correct?
Okay, now I see everybody else.
Yes, she should be there.
Great.
Oh, what is going on? Why is this not working?
How's everyone doing?
Good. Well, looks like we have a quorum, so we could wait another minute. We expecting anyone else?
Nope.
All right. Should we start off with the meeting of Norwalk Walk?
Just an FYI, if I could just add, for some reason, the YouTube password is not taking. Yeah, YouTube password, which means I can't live stream it. If I can get Susan to, I'll check in with our marketing consultant to see if she changed the password.
That's fine. We're recording, so we could post it there later.
I was gonna say I can post it later,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I call to order the meeting of North Walk Housing Corporation. Roll call. Everyone's here. There's Lisa, Kelly, David, and myself. And so that's the roll call. Any public participations? Since we don't have, I don't think so. So we'll go on next to administration, approval of the minutes of the December 8th meeting. Does anyone have any changes, additions? Kelly? Weren't there. Okay, seeing none, I make a motion to approve the minutes from the December 8th meeting. All in favor? Aye.
Hi.
That's it.
I'll abstain since I wasn't there.
Okay. Lisa? I guess Lisa's not there.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Now I hear you.
Okay.
We're just approving the minutes and we wondered if you voted.
No, I'm abstaining because I was absent. I wasn't
Okay.
at the meeting.
Minutes pass, 2 abstentions and 2 yeses. Item number 2, the financials. You approve the North Walk Housing Corporation Statement of Revenues and Expenditures and the balance sheet for all funds for year-to-date through March 31st. Virginia?
Yes, thank you, John. The Norwalk Fund 400 had $7,274 in revenue and $7,292 in expenditures, which resulted in a net operating deficit of $18. This fund has assets of $818,000, liabilities of $465,000, and net assets of $353,000. And then Norwalk Fund 450 had approximately $2,000 in net operating surplus, which is interest income from notes. And the balance sheet has $146,000 in assets and $146,000 in liabilities and net assets. And that's it.
Okay. I made a motion to approve those statements. Any questions? No? All in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Okay. Unanimous, carried. Is there there's no business, any new business? Anyone want to bring anything up? No old business? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So seconded?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
We move on to our next board meeting. I call to order the regular meeting of the Norwalk Redevelopment Agency. And roll call, same as before, we have 4 of the commissioners here. And we have to vote on the approval of the minutes of April 13th, regular meeting. I make the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion, changes? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next, we move on to the financials. Approve the Norwalk Redevelopment Agency Statement of Revenues and Expenditures and balance sheets for all funds year-to-date through March 31st.
Okay.
Virginia,
Yes, thank you. For the 9 months ending March 31st, the operating fund 100 had actual revenues of $1,182,000 versus a year-to-date budget of $1,191,000, which resulted in an unfavorable variance of about $9,000. Total actual expenditures of $1,081,000 versus a budget of $1,191,000 resulted in a favorable variance of $110,000. This is primarily due to an unfavorable variance of $53,000 of legal expenses for Wall Street litigation, which was offset by a favorable variance in personnel costs of $133,000 and in other administrative expenses of $30,000. There's an actual operating surplus of $101,000 versus a budgeted break-even bottom line, which results in a favorable operating variance of $101,000. Going to the balance sheet for this fund, at March 31st, there's $5,388,000 in cash, accounts receivable due to other funds and property, and $1,008,000 in net loans, receivable, and other assets. There's $1,229,000 in deferred revenues, which will be earned when expended, and $3,610,000 in net assets. The financial statements for the other funds were also included in the package. There are no major variances except for the CDBG non-revolving loan fund 300, which had an operating deficit of $98,000. This has been drawn down and reimbursed. I don't know if anybody has any questions on any of the other funds or.
anyone have any questions? Nope. Seeing none, I will ask for, I made the motion, I seconded. David, Kelly? All in favor? Aye. Looks like it's unanimous. And we'll move on to business. Now, Brian, you wanted to add an item to business? Is that on the sheet I'm looking at?
Yeah, we could take it up under new business if that works for everyone.
Okay, that'll be better. On the business, we have the Freeze Park Design Services. Approve a contract and authorize executive director to execute related agreements with Stantec for design services at Freeze Park. Want to make the motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. Turn it over to you, Brian.
Okay, great. So as you may recall or be aware, the agency had worked with the city to do a master plan for Freeze Park. And as a result, the city had allocated some capital funds to do some of the improvements. And what the city's requested is that the actual contract, since we have an arrangement or procurement with Stantec, who's going to be providing the design services, we could just engage in that contract. They're ultimately going to be paying for the services out of their account, but I just need authorization tonight to actually sign that agreement so we can start that work. It's for the installation of fencing at the park.
Anyone want to discuss that? Any more detail?
Fencing where? Fixing the The old fencing that's there, the like
Yeah.
sandblasting and painting.
Yes, exactly. And the scope of services is included in the agenda packet. I'm not sure if that shows specifically, but yeah, that is the replacement of the existing fence. I guess they've been having issues and complaints with it,
Yeah, it's been terrible for years. So
right? Trying to get it done.
They're replacing the fence, they're not, yeah. It was oil paint on it, so they couldn't sandblast it because they could have that oil chip, those oil chips going all over. So I remember that from planning.
So is this to do the actual work or just to do the design package to then go out to bid to replace it?
Exactly. It's for the design specs, and we're going to hand that over to the city, and the city has city capital funds to actually do the work.
But it's just the fence. It's not, I mean, there's a whole, the master plan has like all this other stuff. This is
Right.
just the fence.
Just the fence portion of it, yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay, I made the motion, it was seconded. Any more questions? None? All in favor? Aye. Lisa?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Moving on to item number 2, 50 Washington Street Plaza furnishings. Authorize the executive director to execute related agreements with selected vendors for purchase and installation of furnishings at 50 Washington Plaza. Anyone want to make that motion?
So moved.
Second? Okay. Brian?
Yeah, great. So this is the sort of next step. We had a discussion where we engaged the landscape architect to do the design for furnishings at 50 Washington. We've been actively working with the city to, get everyone on the same page with the design, with parks and economic development and the mayor's office. What you have before you tonight is the final design plans that are being moved forward. And what I need authorization for tonight is to actually engage the contractor and then also purchase the furnishings. So there's sort of two components. We're looking to do direct purchasing of the furnishings, the actual, tables and benches and things of that nature, just because, the city was really interested in having something out there for the summer. So in the sake of time, we're seeking to do that. We had issued this out for bid. And again, we try to do an expedited bid window just to meet sort of a July target date of having this open. It was actually due back yesterday for the actual contract installation. Unfortunately, we didn't receive any bids. So we've since reissued it. So what I'm seeking approval tonight, though, is just to obtain authorization to pay, to sign agreements once we do identify the appropriate contractor, and then to actually order the furnishings, because they have an 8 to 10 week lead time. So if I don't have that, in the short term here, we're going to miss the window. So what we've estimated and included in the packet is the opinion of probable cost provided by our landscape architect. And again, this is coming out of CDBG program income resources that we'll be using to pay for this. The funds are there and allocated. But it'd be good if I could get the authorizations now and on the front end so that we could be a little more nimble in responding and trying to get things out there for summer.
How much money is this again?
About 100, it's estimated 118,000 for the purchase and installation. A lot of it's just really capital assets that we're buying.
All right.
How is this funded? I'm sorry.
CDBG revenues, program income revenues.
Okay. And Eric Rains is the landscape architect?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Discussion? Seeing none, or hearing none, I will call for a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Looks unanimous again. Then we'll go on to new business, and I'll turn it over to you, Brian.
Yeah, so I just wanted to propose a new business item. This came in quite literally a couple hours ago at the request of Tom Ivers at the Housing Authority. We've been going back and forth. I don't know if any of you have seen or recently gone by Ryan Park. Relatively new park, but the lawn is needing some, TLC. So we've been working with our landscaper, Meticulous. We have an open contract with them to kind of scope some reseeding and sort of kind of fixing some of the issues that are out there. So we've received the estimates to do that. It's sort of above that $5,000 threshold. It's going to be about 70. I'll pull it up right now. Actually, it's going to be about $7,800 that we're looking at to do the seeding and to do fencing around the park so that we could help make sure it grows in. And our plan is to do some seeding now, core aerate, fertilize, and seed now, and then go back in the fall when it's really good and try, the optimal time, I guess, to sort of do some additional reseeding so we could try to bring the park back to life and some of the grass out there. That was unfortunately it died because when we opened the park, it was right at the beginning of the water restrictions that they placed, if you recall, last year. So it didn't really help the grass that we had installed. So it's really, I'm just seeking approval to authorize to execute the contract with the Meticulous Landscaping for the reseeding services.
Have the trees been replaced, the dead trees?
Yeah, a couple. So there was like 30 trees but they're all under warranty. But they were replaced in the spring, and we're going to be monitoring those because they still are under warranty to make sure that they grow back properly.
Great.
Can you make that an official motion?
Well, I think we probably have to add it to the agenda, right, first, because it's new business. We'd have to take a vote for that, I believe.
Yeah, we have to, well, then we have to suspend the rules to take a vote to add this to new business. So all in favor of adding this to new business? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, so it's now added. So we have a motion to Brian. We lost you, Brian.
Sorry, I'm pulling up some language here real quick. To authorize executive director to execute contract with Meticulous Landscaping for landscaping services and improvements at Ryan Park.
So
Okay.
moved.
So moved, but I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I assume Lisa's good, yes? Unanimous. Any old business? Seeing none, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right.
Before we ring off, everyone, Brian, do you have any other things on the fire you want to discuss or?
No, nothing specific. I think next month we're going to have a lot of good design reviews that we're going to be taking a look at. We're hopefully going to be advancing some of the project over at 10 Monroe. So that's going to be hopefully on the next agenda, as well as a few other projects. So I think it'll be a more design review focused meeting.
Okay.
It'll be,
I had a strange call today from somebody that's looking to open a dog cleaning booths. They look like big telephone booths that you see around Europe. And there's a 1 dog and a 2 dog model. They're self-sufficient, go in with a credit card, use everything drains out, etc. It was fascinating since Pet Value has closed and we can't wash our dogs anymore. So someone like that with a new venture is looking for space. Who does he go to in the city?
yeah, well, I'd be happy to have a conversation. I'd be interested to understand, from the zoning perspective too, what that would mean and what their sort of ultimate business model is. But if you want to forward me the contact information, I could help sort of make the connections as needed.
Okay, I will send you a copy of the email with, it has the units. They're actually attractive. I thought next to a dog park somewhere or in an area, convenient for people to pull in and wash their dogs. But he has financial backing, so he's not looking for funds from us. He's just looking for someone to help locate a spot in the city. He lives in Norwalk too.
They could put it next to the bike rack repair thing in Cat Pasture that got vandalized the day after they installed it.
Yes, I was thinking that too. That's unbelievable. Okay, I will put him in touch with you, Brian.
All right, great.
So I like this meeting, just voting on park improvements. Let's just do that.
I know. This is your thing. It's all for you, David.
Forget about apartments.
Yeah, exactly.
It's $80,000 plus plumbing for 2 units. So
Gosh,
interesting. At any rate,
I'll only charge them $100 to use my laundry room, basically. Nice big tub. I throw my dog in it.
I think it would be seasonable because everyone will wash their own dogs in the summer in the driveway, the way I do, or in the winter they're going to look for that. So any rate, something interesting. Have a good evening, everyone.
All
Good
right,
night.
take care.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.